Yes, this is our first meeting. I was very encouraged with this meeting, but this is a process.
Next on Newsmax Prime, is Paul Ryan making presidential politics a prisoner of process? The speaker sits down with Donald Trump, but still wants to take it slow. Meantime, is our current president ready to take his medicine? A federal judge rules Obamacare funding unconstitutional. Will that decision stand? Plus, law enforcement experts on Hillary and the FBI, and Ronna Romney McDaniel on her Uncle Mitt. Newsmax Prime starts right now. Good evening and welcome to Newsmax Prime. I'm J.D. Hayworth. Of prime interest tonight, they met, they talked, and they'll probably talk some more in the near future. Though they share the same party, Paul Ryan and Donald Trump don't exactly see eye to eye. John Bogman details those differences.
Well, J.D., Ryan and Trump were clearly on their best behavior today. This week, we've seen Donald Trump show that he's been pretty flexible when it comes to some policy matters, but it's tough to tell right now if that flexibility will bring him and Ryan closer or drive them further apart.
I thought he's a very good personality. He's a very warm and genuine person.
Spotted on Capitol Hill Wednesday, signs of a late spring thaw between Donald Trump and Paul Ryan.
The process of unifying the Republican Party, which just finished a primary about a week ago, perhaps one of the most divisive primaries in memory, takes some time.
The House Speaker encouraged by the meeting with the presumptive nominee and the GOP's House and Senate leadership. But Ryan says he's still not ready to commit to that endorsement yet.
I'm not there right now.
Ahead of Wednesday's meeting, Trump making an overture on his controversial ban of Muslims entering the United States.
Sure, I'd back off on it. I'd like to back off as soon as possible.
So that's now. This was then.
For a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. You have no choice. We have no choice.
This is not conservatism.
But when it comes to other aspects of immigration reform, it's still complicated. Ryan supported the Gang of Eight bill. One of Trump's closest advisors, Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama, was one of its biggest opponents.
You're open to raising the minimum wage.
I'm open to doing something with it.
The Trump-Ryan rift on the economy could be even harder to heal. Trump recently opened up to the idea of raising the minimum wage and to raising the taxes of the nation's highest income earners.
Define as wealthy, by the way.
Let me explain somebody like me.
Paul Ryan has based his entire career in Congress on trying to do the opposite.
We are calling this budget the path to prosperity. So how will we do it? We will cut spending. Don't raise taxes on small businesses because they're our job creators.
But a lack of results from Ryan and the rest of the GOP has voters frustrated. It's also put Trump in this position as the party's presumptive nominee. And while everyone knows the GOP will need real party unity, there remains a chasm between the party's two most powerful players. What's not clear is who has the most leverage. Well, Donald Trump released a joint statement with Ryan on his website today. They say they are totally committed to unifying the GOP party. One of the biggest differences we noticed in the tone after this meeting, neither Trump nor Ryan really saying it's the other's responsibility, JD, to unify the party.
All right, John, and now for this quick reminder, we'll be taking your phone calls over the next hour at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Call in with an observation or a succinct question, and we will put you on the air live because we're not here at Newsmax TV to tell you what you are supposed to think. We're here to have you call in and share your views with us as we are truly America's forum. For more on all this, I'm pleased to be joined by my old congressional colleague, former United States Congressman from Minnesota, Gil Gutknecht. He is coming to us via FaceTime tonight from Rochester, Minnesota, and Skyping in from Las Vegas. Former Libertarian vice presidential candidate turned political commentator and talk show host Wayne Allyn Root. And our friend Wayne adds a new title, that of executive producer of Las Vegas Law, to his resume. That program airs later tonight on another network. Gentlemen, thanks for your time on Newsmax Prime. Gil, let me start with you. We have known Paul Ryan for years, but golly, this to me, it doesn't seem to be a thoughtful statesman. I'm sorry, he's coming off as a petulant child. Your take?
Well, I'm not sure I'd use that term, but I think at some point he's going to have to come to the reality that Donald Trump is going to be our standard bearer. And more importantly, if you look at the most recent polls, Donald Trump is running better than Rob Portman in Ohio. And frankly, it looks more and more like he has an excellent chance to be the next president of the United States. And, I just think that reality is going to have to set in sooner or later that in many respects, the Republicans in Congress need Donald Trump a whole lot more than Donald Trump needs them. And so if I were in Congress today, I would be encouraging the speaker to get in line pretty quickly.
So, Wayne, you can hear Gil taking polite exception to my term petulant child. I tell you what, before we get your comment, we'll listen to the speaker himself following the meeting. Here's what Speaker Ryan had to say.
I was very encouraged with what I heard from Donald Trump today. I do believe that we are now planting the seeds to get ourselves unified, to bridge the gaps and differences. And so from here, we're going to go deeper into the policy areas to see where that common ground is and how we can make sure that we are operating off these same core principles. And so, yes, this is our first meeting. I was very encouraged with this meeting, but this is a process.
Okay. What is that, a definite maybe? Your take on it, Wayne Allyn.
Drama. He's trying to build up the drama. Donald's good at that too. I guess Paul Ryan's learned from Donald instead of just coming out and saying it worked, we're friends, kumbaya. It's got to be drama. It'll take several meetings. We'll build it up like a reality TV show. They're all learning. I think all the politicians, JD, are learning that politics is show business, and it's like a big reality TV show. It's like American Idol or Survivor or Celebrity Apprentice.
Well, I guess it was Hugh Sidey who said back in Life magazine years ago, presidential politics is two-thirds theater. Hey, let's take our first call tonight. Checking in from Shelton, Washington. We've got John on the line. John, I guess you think Paul Ryan ought to get off the dime when it comes to endorsing Donald Trump. John, are you there?
This guy needs to pick up his marbles and go home or something. Stand by Donald or get out of the way.
Well, it is interesting, Gil Gutknecht. There was a poll put out by Public Policy Priorities. I believe I have that right. Now, it's a Democrat firm down in North Carolina, and they said, hey, look, Ryan, his numbers are dropping when it comes to this whole thing. How much trouble can this cause for Ryan, Gil, considering the fact that he's got a challenge at home from businessman Paul Nehlen?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how strong that challenge is. But can I just use a word here that I think is driving a lot of what's going on in Washington today, and that is the word relevant. I think the one thing that the insiders, and if you want to call them the establishment or the elite, the one thing that they want to be is relevant. And I think what they found over the last 10 months is that they're far less relevant than they thought that they were. And so in some respects, I think the speaker is trying to say, I'm still Speaker of the House, I'm still relevant. But in many respects, I think he's overplaying both his hand and his relevance. And at some point, I think, some of the grayer heads are going to prevail out there in Washington upon him to join the team and get on board.
Well, it's interesting because I don't know if the gray head, the silver hair of Newt Gingrich said that Paul had made a mistake not getting behind Donald Trump initially. But we also have evidence of Donald Trump, the diplomat, in an interview with Fox News that'll air completely at a later date or later tonight. Listen to what Donald Trump had to say about that meeting today.
I thought it was a great meeting. We discussed a lot of things, a lot of very important things, and I thought it was really a very, very good meeting. I think Paul felt the same way, and everybody else did also. I don't mind going through a little bit of a slow process. It's a very big subject. We have a lot of things, and I think for the most part we agree on a lot of different items, and we're getting there.
All right, so Wayne Allyn Root, is that Donald Trump, the diplomat?
Yeah, he's got his moments where he's diplomatic, but I got to tell you, the difference between Paul Ryan and Donald Trump, as a TV producer, you mentioned my new show airs tonight, Las Vegas Law, and all of TV is about energy, and I think Donald Trump proves with one of the biggest hits of all time, Celebrity Apprentice, and now with one of the biggest political hits of all time, beating 16 people in a field with the deepest GOP field ever. Energy is what sells. Paul Ryan had no energy 4 years ago. He added no energy to the Romney ticket at all. He couldn't even win Wisconsin. There's no such thing as a Paul Ryan Republican, but there's a new thing called a Donald Trump Republican. Trump has done a takeover of Paul Ryan's party, and it's now Trump's party. It's not Paul Ryan's. So, Paul, get with the program. Take some notes from Donald. Learn to speak with some energy. Learn to project a little energy. Maybe Wayne Root can direct you a little bit.
Yeah, but wait, look, Paul is the Speaker of the House, so he's got appeal at least within the Republican conference. On the phone from the town where our old buddy Pete Hoekstra, another congressional colleague, lives, Holland, Michigan. Joe is on the line. Joe, I understand you've got some advice for all of us vis-a-vis Paul Ryan.
Well, I think we just got to give Paul Ryan a little space. I think Trump is a very unconventional nominee, and, let's face it, we might have to, give Paul Ryan just a little bit of space to accept this, and then we'll get on to things that are important.
You may be up there in Holland, Michigan, but I think of one of the great beach music classics in the southeastern United States. The chairman of the board had the tune, "Give Me Just a Little More Time, and Our Love Will Surely Grow." Hey, listen, Gil Gutknecht, Republicans have to love the numbers they're seeing. The latest Reuters Ipsos opinion poll shows Hillary and the Donald in a dead heat. Hillary's got 41%, Donald at 40%, 19% undecided. This Trump train is going to pull out of the station. When do you think the Speaker will board it?
Well, I hope he'll do it very soon. As I say, I think it's become a bit of a spectacle, and the Trump train is going to roll with or without Speaker Ryan. And as I said earlier, I think that that they need him a whole lot more than he needs them. He's bringing millions of new people into the Republican Party, and those people, I think, will want to vote for Republicans down ballot. So in many respects, this is a very good time to be a Republican, and I hope they recognize that.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, 30 seconds. Make them count, pal, for the last word.
Well, listen, I hope the Cruz conservatives get the message, too, not just Paul Ryan, because there's so many of them that say, never Trump, I won't do it. You're going to be left behind. This is going to be a big win. It's going to be, as Donald Trump would say in his New York accent, a huge win. And there's no question in my mind, Hillary doesn't realize that light at the end of the tunnel is a train about to run her over. This is, things are changing, JD. I think a lot of people are starting to realize Hillary is in severe trouble. She's on the ropes. Donald is going to be the next president of the United States.
I got to thank you both. Wayne Allyn Root from Las Vegas, Gil Gutknecht tonight from Rochester, Minnesota. When we come back, we're going to talk about Hillary and the FBI. And as always, we're looking for your calls here live as Newsmax Prime continues tonight on Newsmax TV.